Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. And today's video, this is going to be a old school commentary where I just talk about my thoughts and opinions on a particular subject. And this subject is going to be about why I think that Black Ops 6 is actually a good game, and is instead overhated by a lot of people unnecessarily. To make this video as authentic as possible, other than pre-planning out some ideas of what I wanted to talk about, there is no script to this video, and so everything that I'm going to be saying is ad-libbed or just kind of on the fly, because I feel like it makes the most genuine of points. So why do I think that Black Ops 6 is a good game? And why do I also think that's also an overhated game? Well, the main reason is because I see a lot of videos in my YouTube recommended page talking about why people think that Black Ops 6 is not a good game because they're mostly comparing it to Black Ops 3. Now, I love Black Ops 3. It is very near and dear to my heart, and I will always love that game. However, though, I also think that Black Ops 6 is a good game too. The only real COD Zombies experience that I don't care for, at least by Treyarch, is Black Ops 4. Now, Black Ops 4 is more closer to Black Ops 3 than it is Cold War and Black Ops 6. I think that Black Ops 3 is the perfect in-between of complicated and innovative and casual and fun, because Black Ops 3 had a lot of old-school elements but still ended up improving upon all the old original layers that they were building on. So they went from World at War, where they were implementing the basic stuff like, let's say, perks, Pack-a-Punch, the mystery box, basically starting from scratch. Then Black Ops 1, you get more of like the Easter eggs in the story. Black Ops 2, you're starting to get more perks, more complicated Easter eggs. Like, this is where you start to get like full-fledged like cutscenes, and you get things like Mob of the Dead and Origins, like the Jason Blundell era, if you will. And Black Ops 3 was like the peak of that era, where you get boss fights, gobblegums, double Pack-a-Punch, and all of these things were still very much easy to understand because they only really required like a couple of extra steps, or maybe occasionally a guide. Then you get to Black Ops 4, where, in my opinion, that game, other than the gameplay mechanics being, first of all, busted, frankly, from the very beginning because the game was rushed to hell, it was just way too difficult for the casual person to understand. I have done Black Ops 4 Easter eggs, and the fact that you need 4 people, and 4 coherently intelligent people, mind you, to be able to do some of these Easter eggs is frankly quite ridiculous. Whereas in Cold War, you have it where it basically goes back to, like, I would say the Black Ops 1 type of feel, where it's not too overly complicated, but it's more than World at War. Like, you still need to have somewhat of a basic understanding of what to do. You can't just, like, blindly go into it. And I think that Black Ops 6 is now sort of like an in-between with Black Ops 3 and Cold War, and I do like both of those games, and I think that those are two really good games to have a combination of, because Black Ops 6 has things like Gobblegums and Classic Prestige Master, and really fun Easter eggs, whereas with the Cold War aspect of things, the normal gameplay mechanics are easy to understand. You can very easily get things like all the perks. You have things like the Director mode even now for their Easter eggs. You've got kill streaks, which are optional, and you've got all the specialist abilities. And the maps and everything feel very fun to play. I've been enjoying Citadel Demore. I enjoy the base maps as well. I like to grind Liberty Falls for things like camos, which are also really fun, by the way. I think that Black Ops 6 is like a happy medium for a lot of Call of Duty players. And it shows, because Call of Duty has been selling better ever since they've kind of had this soft reboot, where Black Ops 4 was, like, I feel like the breaking point for a lot of people, and then you get things like Modern Warfare 2019, and Cold War, and Vanguard. Now, although be it those games, not every one of them did well, some did better than others, like Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War, whereas things like Vanguard did not. But for the most part, those games still did better than, like, let's say something like an Advanced Warfare or an Infinite Warfare, because COD had a really bad streak of games for, like, the longest time. And I was normally a multiplayer guy for the longest time, but I've recently swapped over to zombies because of things like skill-based matchmaking and supply drops, and just the game being stale for multiplayer for me. As I've gotten older, I've gotten away from multiplayer games, so zombies has been my happy place, my sweet spot, if you will. And I like the fact that Treyarch are trying to go back to a casual way of zombies, because if you think about it, they're just only giving us what exactly we asked for. because around the time of Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, everyone was saying this game is getting way too complicated, we need the game to be easier. And fortunately, though, there's a double-edged sword to that, where if you make the game easy for one party, then the people that want to make the game even harder get upset. And so what I feel like is the best course of action with Black Ops 6 is to just understand that it's just another Call of Duty game. Because a lot of people get invested into Call of Duty as like their main game, and they do it at once every single year. And only select Call of Duty games will people ever go back to. Black Ops 3 being one of them, and I feel like Black Ops 2 as well. Now, Black Ops 6, I don't know if people are going to go back to this game necessarily and try to replay it after it's no longer the newest Call of Duty, but I will, because this game has been fun for me and my friends. And I know that this game is really only going to be supported for about like 1 year, maybe 2 years at tops, because lately we've been having security issues with hacking and the game being glitchy and broken to hell, and I'm enjoying the game for what it's worth. I'm appreciating for what it's worth. I'm showing a sense of gratitude because I know that Treyarch tried their best with this game, whereas things like with Black Ops 4 and Cold War, they didn't have the ability to put the passion into those games. Black Ops 4 not only was rushed to begin with and launched horribly, but it was also abandoned like halfway through because they needed to work on Cold War. And even though Cold War was better than Black Ops 4 in my opinion, that game still also was rushed. It was during COVID. And Black Ops 6 is one of the longer Call of Duty Zombies games that have been in development for about 4 years now. One of the longest Call of Duty games in development, period. And I feel like it shows, because there's a lot of things about Black Ops 6 that I really do like. The game launched, and I really want to stress this point, because if a Call of Duty game, let alone any game, launches in a poor state, it's just basically dead on arrival. A lot of people have very much strong first impressions when it comes to them wanting to purchase select game titles. And Call of Duty, that shows a lot, because a lot of people dip after the first 2 months, especially when they get bored and new things move on. And I'm still playing this game. I feel like that Black Ops 6, for me, as a Call of Duty fan, is like Back 4 Blood for me as a Left 4 Dead fan. You get the reference, where I think that even though, yes, it's not the best game, it's not the perfect game, it's definitely not going to give me the exact same feelings that I always hope for, like that nostalgic feeling of reliving the good old days, but it's close enough. I appreciate the value and the effort in which Treyarch are trying to do, because if they didn't care, they would just give us Modern Warfare 3 or Vanguard Zombies again, where you guys know how bad those games were, where we had terrible launches, the camos that barely were even camos were horrible to look at, and they were not worth the grind. Prestige Master wasn't a thing in those games, and they were basically abandoned like after a month. They were just there for the sake of pumping out a title, whereas Black Ops 6 is not. You can just tell. Basically, like when I was a kid, I know a lot of people like to use the analogy of being like, oh, you don't really necessarily dislike this, you're just nostalgic and you're trying to relive your childhood because you didn't have responsibilities, like stuff like that. There is a truth to that, yes, and I realize that now, as I'm getting older, that the more and more that I end up playing games, the limited time that I have left, I want to end up playing games that I truly enjoy, regardless of what other people care about or not. I don't care if whether or not that this game is the most popular. I don't care about the clout if whether or not that I get the camos on the first day of launch or a month after launch rather, and do the Easter eggs as quick as possible. I don't need that in my life anymore. I am content with other things in my life, and it's not just about games to me anymore at the time. I feel like the worst thing that we could do is try to invalidate other people's feelings and say that, hey, just because I don't like a game, it also means that you should not, because that's just not necessary. I mean, really, what is the gain to making people feel like that they're not allowed to like a certain title? You know what I mean? Because all that really does is that instead of making it where, hey, somebody plays a different game and seeks happiness, all we're doing is just taking away and not replacing, and then just multiple people are miserable. And that's just not the right thing to do. So I think that at the end of the day, I'm going to continue just to do what I do, and I really hope that you guys should end up doing the same. Like I said, this video was very ad-lib heavy, and it was also very much on the fly, but this is just my honest, genuine thoughts and opinions, and I haven't done a video like this in a while, so I hope you guys can appreciate the old school format of this type of video. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it here for today's video. If you guys have been enjoying today's video, please drop a like, subscribe if you are new, and if there's a particular video or just COD Zombies video in general you guys want to see from me in the future, just please leave it here in the comments down below. As we wrap up the video, guys, I also want to mention two last quick things. Number one, I have a second YouTube channel now. It is called Black Ninja 797 Extras, and on this channel, I'm going to be uploading and posting additional content that you would normally not see here on my main channel, such as gameplay walkthroughs, funny moments with friends, and Challenge Accepted, which is the series I used to do here on my main channel where I play games that you guys requested me to play. If you guys want to check out the second channel, there is a link down below in this video's description. I also want to say thank you and shout out to Epic Games for being my first ever sponsor. I have a supporter creator code with them, and the code is just my name, Black Ninja 797 in all caps. If you guys want to, you can use it in the Fortnite and Epic Games item shops. Anybody that uses my code or has used it before in the past, I tremendously appreciate you. And I hope you guys end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video for one of the most unique YouTubers are ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!